Welcome to today's video on pregnancy and birthing secrets during the ancient Egyptian era. Women of ancient Egypt had unique practices and beliefs when it came to childbirth and pregnancy. In this video, we'll look into the fascinating world of pregnancy during the ancient Egypt era and uncover the mysteries of childbirth rituals, practices, and medical knowledge of this civilization. But first, have you ever wondered what were the birthing secrets of ancient Egypt and how the women there coped with the challenges of pregnancy and childbirth? So join us as we discover what pregnancy was really like during the ancient Egypt era. Ancient Egyptians had an open-minded approach to sex education, unlike many societies in the ancient world, which had taboos and stigma surrounding it. Their sex education curriculum was ahead of its time, as it involved various methods of contraception, fertility treatments, and even guidelines for healthy sexual behaviors. What's more interesting is that they used some unique and, let's admit it, strange methods to prevent becoming pregnant. Some of the methods they used included inserting a blockade of crocodile dung and sour milk into the vagina. As funny as that sounds, these were the best options available at the time. Ancient Egyptians created the first condoms from linen as a means of preventing the spread of disease. And if that's not enough to impress you, they also discovered the spermicidal properties of acacia gum, which they used as another form of contraception. Women would also use various components from the acacia tree for birth control. The ancient Egyptians held some superstitious beliefs that certain times of the year were more conducive to conception. July and August were the most popular months for baby making, coinciding with the Roman Egyptian fertility festivals, while December and January saw the least amount of conceptions, which could be related to early Christian sexual prohibitions during the Advent and Lenten seasons. They understood the importance of both men and women in the reproductive process and had a variety of remedies for fertility problems. And if a woman had trouble conceiving, there were some rather unconventional remedies, like squatting over a stew of frankincense, oil, dates, and beer. Ancient Egyptians had advanced knowledge when it came to pregnancy and childbirth, and they had a variety of methods to confirm whether a woman was pregnant or not. While some of the methods may seem strange to us right now, surprisingly, they were accurate for their time. Much like the pregnancy tests of today, one of the most accurate methods involved peeing on bags of emmer and barley. If the emmer grew, it was believed that the woman was carrying a girl, and if the barley grew, it was a boy. And if neither grew, they believed the woman was not pregnant. The modern studies have, however, proven that non-pregnant person's urine does in fact prevent growth of the seeds, and that the pregnancy test method alone is about 70% accurate. Other pregnancy tests with less proven results included covering a woman's breasts with oil and examining the color of the veins, as well as drinking mixtures of various substances, including milk and melon puree, and the woman taking the test would drink it. If she became sick, she was thought to be pregnant. Childbirth in ancient Egypt was not a hospital-bound affair. Women would deliver their babies on the cool roof of a house or in a birthing arbor, which was essentially a room annexed to the home made of papyrus stalks and vine covering. But who helped the women through the grueling and dangerous process of giving birth? It was the midwives of ancient Egypt. Women would give birth standing, kneeling, or squatting, and often used birthing bricks or chairs to maintain the position. The midwife assisted in catching the baby upon delivery. They placed a dish of hot water beneath the birthing chair to produce steam and ease delivery. While there isn't much evidence that the Egyptians had a gynecological unit or a physician-assisted births at all, it's thought that other women acted as midwives during labor. The noble-class women were assisted by maidservants and nurses, while the lower-class women had friends, family members, or neighbors who acted as midwives. There are a few records of delivery procedures, like the Kahun or Ebers Papyri, that contain detailed medical knowledge and notes on the subject. However, as most of the expectant mothers of the time were illiterate, and they could hardly read up on the subject. But not all midwives were equal. Some were skilled and experienced, while others were, shall we say, less than competent. Midwifery in ancient Egypt was not regulated, and there was no licensing documents required for them to operate, and no formal training programs was offered to them. This led to some midwives practicing dangerous and harmful techniques like placing a basket on the mother's head during labor, believing it would facilitate a successful birth, and attempting to induce labor by administering a potent mixture of herbs and spices. While there is not a lot of evidence of medical tools for labor in ancient Egypt, it is believed that certain instruments were utilized. For example, a scissor-like instrument, similar to forceps, may have been used to extract a baby who was stuck in the birth canal. Although the thought of forceps might make you cringe, they were likely a life-saving tool in situations where the baby was in distress. Another tool that may have been used during childbirth was a special knife for cutting the umbilical cord. This might sound like an intimidating task, but the umbilical cord actually has no nerves, so the baby wouldn't feel any pain. However, improper cutting of the cord could cause complications, so it was essential that the midwife was skilled in order to use it. Religion was deeply rooted in every aspect of life in ancient Egypt, including childbirth. Ancient Egyptians believed that the process of childbirth was under the protection of several gods and goddesses. Mortality rates were high for both infants and mothers, which led the Egyptians to seek the help of gods and goddesses for a safe delivery. One such god was Bes, who was associated with pregnancy and delivery, and he was believed to be the protector of the mothers and infants. Bes was often depicted as a dwarf with a lion's mane and tail. He was also believed to ward off evil spirits and demons. Taweret, a goddess with the head of a hippo, was also commonly invoked to assist with pregnancy and children. She was depicted as a pregnant hippopotamus and was believed to protect women in labor and ensure a healthy delivery. Another important goddess was Hathor. Hathor was the goddess of fertility, motherhood, and love, and was often depicted as a cow or a woman with cow horns. It was believed that she oversaw the process of childbirth and ensured a safe delivery. She was believed to be the patron of midwives. The use of incantations of goddess Hathor during labor was believed to help women overcome the pain and challenges of childbirth. By channeling the strength and protection of the goddess, women could overcome their fears and anxieties and successfully give birth to healthy babies. After the baby was born, there were unusual testing methods used to assess a sick baby's chances of survival. For example, the particular sounds of the baby's cries and facial expressions were observed, and if the infant made a sound like creaking pine trees or turned its face downward, it was expected to die. Parents immediately named their children, with some babies being named after deities to ensure their protection. Others were named based on physical traits or occupations. For instance, Pakamen means the blind one, while Pakapu means bird catcher. Women were told to eat a mouse after giving birth because it was thought to cure a number of illnesses and pass on its benefits through breast milk. People also thought that menstrual blood had powerful qualities and rubbed it on babies to keep demons away. The ability to bear children was highly valued, and infertility was seen as a curse from the gods in ancient Egypt. Fertility was not just a biological function, but a crucial part of societal and religious beliefs. Women who were unable to conceive or experienced complications during pregnancy were not only facing physical challenges, but also social and cultural challenges. The fact that the gods could punish or curse them made the situation even more complicated. Imagine feeling like the divine powers were conspiring against you because you were unable to fulfill what was seen as one of the most essential duties of a woman, bearing children. This cultural belief put a lot of pressure on women to conceive and bear children, and those who were unable would often face stigma and shame. Women who were unable to conceive were often chased from their communities and thought to be suffering from some sort of divine punishment. In some cases, they were even accused of being possessed by evil spirits, and bizarre remedies were prescribed, such as drinking the water used to clean the temple floors or wearing a charm made from the skin of a mummified crocodile. The ancient Egyptians were known to have the best diet compared to other ancient civilizations. Egyptian mothers provided exceptional care to their babies, with breastfeeding starting early and continuing for an extended period, sometimes up to 3 years. The mother's primary focus was to ensure their infants received the right amount and quality of milk. To achieve this, doctors advised the mothers to massage their backs with oil made from the dorsal fin of fish to stimulate the flow of milk. Breast milk was considered a medicinal liquid, so it was used to treat colds, burns, colic, and eye infections, and even increase sexual potency. Thanks to this healthy diet, children enjoyed better nourishment than some of their neighbors, which could explain why it's difficult to find Egyptian children's skeletons with rickets lesions, despite the fact that Egyptian babies enjoyed a pampered life with the best diet in the ancient world. The prevalence of disease and infection was still a significant challenge for mothers and children. Even if the mothers successfully managed the complicated process of pregnancy, they and their children had to face the reality of disease and infection, which made the road ahead long and frequently difficult. So, that's a brief glimpse into what pregnancy was like during the ancient Egypt era. We hope you enjoyed learning about this fascinating topic. Thanks for watching Pregnancy during the ancient Egypt era.